of that session. So we would like to continue our human code, what's going on in AI and human code and human capability. I would like to welcome our esteemed guests. So, hi everyone, my name is Bedour Alrayes. I am the Deputy CEO of the Human Capability Development Program, one of the Vision 2030 programs. It's a pleasure and honor to be here today, and thank you for having you today. So Engineer Anas and his esteemed guest, they shed a light on a high-level view at what is the intelligent age and the impacting of what have been impacted as a human capability. Today, in the second part, we will go focus again on the human-AI collaboration and how we witness that in the workspace and workforce today, from focusing on the Giga project we have in Saudi Arabia, also in the private sector, and also from tourism and also the telecommunication and urban development. So we will cover all that today. But before I start, I would like to ask a question, if you allow me, and I want to see some hands. So how many of you see AI changing the way we work in our organization or your organization? Can I see some hands? Okay, wow, it seems that AI is coming. So we already see an AI embedded in our work and on our life today. And this is not the only question. I think we have a lot of questions we need to answer in the future. One of them is, looking forward in 2030, how success look like in AI-human collaboration? And what are the most essential human code we think we need to have? So this is our session today, and looking forward to our esteemed guest. So I have with me today Mr. Jerry Inzerillo, so the Group CEO of the Diriyah Company. Welcome. I have with me Engineer Nezar Banabeela, CEO of Mobily. Welcome. And I have with me Engineer Rayan Fayez, the Deputy CEO of NEOM. Welcome. So let's start the session. First of all, to ground our discussion, I would like to focus on one of the most ambitious project we have, which is Diriyah. So Jerry, Diriyah is a company prides itself as being a human-centric urban development. How do you see the use of AI add operational value to and stay consistent with Diriyah people-focused development policy?
Yeah, thank you. Salam alaikum. Thank you. It's wonderful to be with you. And when I grow up, I want to be an engineer as well. That's my aspiration with AI. Diriyah, as you know, is the birthplace of the kingdom. It's the home of Al Saud. But more importantly, it's the source of Saudi identity and Saudi pride. We now, 7 years later, have a staff of 3,000 people. The average age of our staff is 31. You take me out, it probably goes to 20. It probably goes to 24. But what I'm saying about that is that it is a very high-powered, dynamic, youthful staff. 82% of our staff Saudi, 39% Saudi women, 16% in management, and what I'm most proud of, 14% of our staff from our community of Diriyah. So our team are very fired up, very energetic. But Princess Rima, who is just here, Her Royal Highness, is a giant role model to all of us, as you are. You know how much we respect and love you. And she always focuses on human capital and human capability. I do too. We have said since day one that Diriyah would always be a cultural institution, not in terms of cultural and heritage, in terms of our own internal place. But we have to embrace all of technology, and we're using AI very formidably right now on what would benefit the guest experience, the human experience, and the development of our own people. But on the other hand, we want people to come and witness, first off, Saudi hospitality, and to see 300 years of history in the way we sing, the way we dance, the way we cook, the way we dress. This is imperative that, you know, my friend, the musician Sting, He said, we may not share the same ideology, but we share the same biology. So there is that human connection that tourism embraces. So we fully embrace technology as long as it promotes humanity and civilization. These are things we practice every day at Diriyah.
Thank you, Jerry. And I like the way you promote humanity and embrace civilization. This is a great way to start. And I think we will move from attraction point with we'll plan to gather 1 million to telecommunication area that will on a daily basis attract millions. So Engineer Nezar, so starting from your recently announced strategy at Mobily, what's called Shine, and congratulations on that, where AI is enabled and it's a significant enabler in that. Do you believe that AI will have a role in a human capability development?
So, Doctor, first, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity here in the Saudi House. And really, it's a great pleasure that Mobily supporting today to present the lovely Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And as what you rightly mentioned, Mobily announced its new strategy, which is called Shine. In a very simple way, it's 5 main pillars, which is first, how can we strengthen our customer experience? Secondly, how can we increase the different products and services for the consumer? And thirdly, how can we enrich the enterprise, being in the government or large enterprise or SME? And fourth, how can we have a very strong navigation on our digital infrastructure? And the fifth, which is the subject of what we are discussing today, which is the operating excellence. So when we look at these 5 main pillars, we found out that AI is actually horizontally crossing all of these 5 pillars. And to make sure that we speak about the subject that we are touching today, of how much this touching the capital human and how much is necessarily to develop them in this case, I'll give you a real example that we have done during Hajj season in 2025. So we adopted the AI in a way that it can take thousands of different operations and actions and decisions during Hajj to increase the efficiency. If you think about the increase that happened in our 5G network, it's 122% in 1 year, which is massive amount of data. And that's where AI help us to improve our operation by 40%. And that couldn't be achieved without an AI. So it is so important to understand how can you develop your human capital in the company to understand how can we do such a thing. So the first thing that we adopt through 3 main layers, number one, how can you automate so many tasks that give the right freedom to your team to focus more on much more complex and strategic areas. And that's where we tried our best to make sure this kind of routines and tasks done by the AI so they have the freedom to do the other strategic thing. The second thing, which is how can you upsell and upskill your team so they can understand how they can utilize it. And the third one, of course, which is hiring the right team members with the right skills who can really utilize the AI to be part of their job. So these 3 things, of course, help us in the organization and made sure that AI, as I said, part of all what we are trying to do is always embedded.
Thank you, Engineer Zahil, and great and ambitious one. And looking forward to have your experience later on and talk about how you upskill these people to use an AI. So moving also from the telecom and large one, we will go to the large region we have now in Saudi, the NEOM. NEOM is already embedding AI from the start of the beginning, and maybe Engineer Rayan, NEOM has highlighted that AI can be positive drive force for society and economy. From your perspective, how AI and emerging technology will be woven into NEOM and to augment a human capability in our life, in our the way we work and everything.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bedour, for inviting me here, and always a pleasure to be with the esteemed panelist today. I think the topic of AI has been a recurring theme in whether it's Davos, FII, any of the big events over the last few years. We're proud today in NEOM to see that planning translate into real action and real projects. As the kingdom develops itself as an AI and data hub globally, NEOM is also working very hard in attracting tenants and attracting companies to build that AI infrastructure. NEOM, actually, from an infrastructure perspective and an AI perspective, is privileged to be in a very attractive situation, and we have very strong competitive advantages when it comes to building an AI infrastructure. Our location being where, and I'm sure Engineer Nezar knows this very well, being at where the subsea cable connecting the kingdom to the rest of the world lands in NEOM, helps a lot in building an AI infrastructure very heavily connected to significant digital infrastructures. We are fortunate to have cost-effective renewable energy, whether it's solar or wind, in addition to obviously green hydrogen, which we're building the largest green hydrogen company in the world, and that's more than 80% complete. So that could be also a source of energy that feeds into the infrastructure, and we have abundant land that we can offer for. And that's why we have a deal signed already with DataVolt for building a 1.5 gigawatt AI, green AI factory and hub in data center in NEOM. So what we're doing is actually building the infrastructure that will be deployed into the grid within NEOM and to the kingdom to power new industries within NEOM and within the kingdom, like manufacturing, ports and logistics, and we can talk about that a little bit later, construction, digital twins, AI-driven digital twins. We'll talk about as well other projects that we have built within NEOM that are AI-empowered and now are actually being used and deployed in other PIF projects. So these are, our AI vision today is very much infrastructure-driven. How can we take advantage of the competitive advantage we have in delivering an AI infrastructure that will help not only the kingdom, but also export it to the rest of the world?
Great, and looking forward and seeing that already been developed in NEOM. So going back to the only Diriyah, Jerry. So we will go back to the only Diriyah. For developer from your scale and impact, what kind of capabilities you are looking for people working successfully to build and manage like urban development like Diriyah?
Yes. So the first thing, which is anybody, and you know His Royal Highness so well, everything with him starts with quality of life. Everything with him starts with humanity. Are my people safe? Are they educated? Are they healthy? Are they happy? Self-esteem. Can someone be the best embodiment of where my future is? That's why the kingdom is so unilaterally positive and optimistic now. So everything we do is to make sure that our community of Diriyah strives, that the kingdom strives, and that people now can come from all over the world to see a rich and generous culture in a staggeringly beautiful country. Now, with AI, it's helped us because just at the UNESCO World Heritage Site about today, in December, we just crossed the threshold of welcoming 4 million people. But AI gives us thousands of data points of what those guests really liked. Not only our own guests, our community of Diriyah and our fellow Saudi brothers and sisters, but now we have data points all day long. What I liked, what I would like to see in the future, it's changing our priorities of what we're introducing in terms of type of hotels, type of restaurants, type of museum experiences. From an infrastructural point of view, which Rayan was saying, we now have planted over 6.5 million trees, shrubs, and bushes. And thanks to AI now, we know exactly how much water we need per plant, per area. And because we put in full new AI-driven irrigation systems to capture the water when the Wadi floods, we're using no more water now than we did 6 years ago. So from an infrastructural point of view, AI has been a great enabler from a development point of view, a great enabler from guest feedback point of view. Now, someone can come to Diriyah, book their hotel, book their restaurant, know where their car is, all on their handheld, know what entertainment is, what experiences there are, and give us their feedback immediately, which we process, which helps us make decisions on how to entertain, educate, and keep our people happy. So we're already deploying it because last night with Diriyah season, we did 3,200 covers in Bijeri, Zalal, and Layali Diriyah. Well, we measured that guest experience. What happened with traffic? What happened with parking? So that's where AI has been very valuable for us already.
I like the way that we experience already when we go to Diriyah, how this data will be collected and analyzed to improve the experience of people. Thank you so much, Jerry. And I would be interested to see what telecommunication will do about capability. What kind of skills you think, Engineer Nezar, you're looking for to scale and integrate AI among different sectors, either the operators or the telecom operators?
Thank you so much, Doctor. To be much more specific, I'll give you a real case, an example that we did work in Mobily. And it's a common, I say, challenge that you will find it in most of the big organizations, which is the physical verification for your assets. So when you think about a company similar to Mobily that have 14,000 towers, 422 different retail and shops, which is a massive network, and the impact of your assets on your financials and your P&L is massive, and how you can manage all of this. So what we have done on our towers, the team, they adopted AI to understand all the movement that happen across the 14,000 all of the time. And this by itself give us the great value on our financials to understand what's the impact for our assets. Now, is it something related just only to the technology that you are adopting? No, it's not the case. Most of the people, they think that AI is a solution that you can just only bring it and it will solve everything. It's not. It's actually a culture. You need to make sure that across all the functions, starting from marketing, sales, HR, technology, finance team, administration, speak the same language and understanding of how we can utilize the AI to drive such a value. And of course, it may start by having the right data analysts, the right developers, all of these people, but they have to adopt the DevOps concept, which is they sit together and understand what kind of problem we are trying to solve. What's the impact of what we are trying to solve? And then you start making sure that the level of sophistication that they go through all of the time become a challenge. And every single time, leadership in the organization should walk the talk and help them to come over this challenge. And then from there, you'll start seeing the value. It's not about I'm bringing the smartest people in one room. It's about I'm bringing the most collective team. They work together to make sure they can have that aim in their mind and achieve it. So to answer you, it's more of an ecosystem that you have to bring it across all the level of the organization and making sure every single time, bring them back to the focus of what you want to achieve.
Thank you, Engineer Nezar. So working in ecosystem is important to collaboratively work and bringing a great ideas, not just only for AI, for any project we will work on. Great. So maybe we go to Engineer Rayan and working on that, having technology and human-centric on the heart of NEOM. From your leadership standpoint of view, what key innovation or lesson emerged from NEOM could mostly significantly strengthen the human capability, and maybe businesses will be globally shared in the intelligent age?
First, I just want to say that human capability and investment in human capability is at the core of what we do. We have a program, a scholarship program for people from the Tabuk region. We now have, I think, 700 and change in universities, and we had the first batch graduate earlier this last year, and are now enrolled within NEOM. So the investment in human capability and the specializations and what they study, as you can see, it's mainly in the STEM field and the engineering field, precisely to adopt to what is expected in terms of delivery and specializations within NEOM. I want to talk about 3 concrete examples today where such innovations was born out of NEOM. We have actually a NEOM-built platform called GroundX. This is a platform it's an AI-empowered, NEOM is a very large region, so we have AI-empowered tracking and imaging system for all of the construction sites. And it's such a powerful tool that is now being explored and considered to be commercialized and being used with other projects within the kingdom. And inshallah, at some point, we have an ambition to take it abroad. The second example is we're building the first automated port terminal and crane operation within the kingdom, and it's first of its kind. The first cranes have already been delivered, and it's being tested as we speak. And the part that we're proud about is actually operating these cranes is happening, as His Excellency Mr. Khrayef mentioned earlier, in Chile, where he saw people sitting in a head office. It's operated by 10 women from the Tabuk region who have been trained to operate these cranes remotely using automated systems. This creates an opportunity where you can actually, maybe a port terminal is not very much female friendly, it's not friendly for, it's a rough environment, but where we are now is we have them operating these terminals from a very hygienic, very safe place, and actually the capability and the training that they're getting is very much adapted to the specialization that we're talking about. So there are a lot of opportunities like this coming out of NEOM, actual opportunities, and it's not a plan or a future opportunity, and we can't wait to showcase this to the rest of the world.
Great, and looking forward also to that. So maybe we have, since we have a shortage of time, I have one more question, and would like to hear your opinion about it. So in one sentence, what are the most essential human skills, human code, that we need in the intelligent age? So I start with you, Jerry.
That we keep our ability to see each other, to recognize each other, to listen to each other. Imperative to the human experience.
Mm-hmm. Great. How about Engineer Nezar?
I think for a long period of time, we were looking at the engineers as the one who's always, find the solution and solve the problems. But today, with the amount of data, I think from my point of view, data analysts, they will be the leader because they will understand the data and they can take a very informative decision based on that.
Great. Engineer Rayan?
From my perspective, it's empathy. I think it's the most human part that you cannot replace with AI. I think the physical and social connections, a room like this can never be replicated by AI. And I think having that human connection is really what we should not lose sight of as we go into the world of digital and AI.
Totally agree, and thank you, everyone. And it stands out from our session today that what we can see is technology and AI is moving quickly, and our responsibility is to keep moving human capability with that and even advancing that. So looking forward to see you all. In May next year, we're having the Human Capability Initiative in Riyadh. We will go deeper and we talk about ideas and action and how we move forward the human code. Thank you, our esteemed panelists and esteemed guests, and looking forward to see you again. Thank you so much. Thank you.